guys? Hope you guys are having a good day or night whenever you're watching this. Got this week's car auctions pulled up on Cars and Bids. I do want to start looking at Bring a Trailer, which is the other big online car auction site. They have some pretty cool stuff on there. And I also want to shout out Dylan Southgate 9493 for putting me on this Chrome extension that converts any website to dark mode, because I know that's something that you guys have been asking about, so thank you to him. But before we get started, traditional disclaimer that none of this is financial, legal, or tax advice. I'm not a licensed professional, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. Now, starting off, we have a 2015 Aston Martin V8 Vantage GT. I honestly am not typically a fan of cars that have like the graphics on them that like call out the model. I think maybe like some of the Porsches are the only ones that I think really look good. I think it looks kind of tacky on a lot of other cars, which is probably counterintuitive because it costs extra money to add, but just how I feel. I think this is a decent looking car. You guys know I'm not a huge fan of the Aston Martins, but I think some models look better than others. They are obviously very impressive, like engineering wise. I think they are definitely deserving of their luxury status. I just don't think looks wise they compete in my eyes with some other brands for the money. That looks like a pretty awkward GPS display there. That's kind of weird. It's like a pop-up. Don't think I like that. Got a 2014 E63S AMG Wagon. Forgot to check the price on the Aston Martin. I'll look at it in a sec. Not a big fan of these. Don't think they look great, but very fast for the money. $35,000, 1 day left. The Aston Martin is at $55K with 1 day left. Actually, not as much as I would have expected. But got an old Land Cruiser. Got a 2015 GTI Autobahn. For those of you that don't know, the Autobahn is like the highway in Germany that like doesn't have a speed limit for most of it. I don't think I remember what that package adds on the car, but it doesn't look too crazy, to be honest. Looks like a pretty normal GTI, if you ask me. Maybe it adds the leather seats. I feel like that's probably not a standard option on the GTI, but could be wrong. Going for $4,000, 95,000 miles, Miami Beach, Florida. Pretty cheap. Ford Focus ST, Model S, M6 Grand Coupe. You guys know I'm not a fan of those Grand Coupe models. We have a 2021 Nissan 370Z. I actually didn't think that they made these past 2020. Like, pretty confident that they didn't. It might be, they have something in the industry called a carryover, which is like, I think when they take extra cars that they didn't sell and just re-release them as the new model year with no feature upgrades. I don't know how they're allowed to do that, but this might be one of those instances. Because it doesn't look any different, and I'm pretty sure they didn't make a 2021Z. It's got a frickin' LCD screen in it, for Christ's sake. But, I mean, it seems to be in pretty good condition. It's going for $12K with 1 day left. It's in New Jersey. I don't think it would say anything in here about the model year, but you guys can trust me on that one. Got an old ML550, Ford Fiesta, Rivian R1S. Got a Mazda 3 Sport. I got a soft spot for Mazda. I like a lot of their stuff, but not the hatchbacks, obviously. But this kind of interesting car. I mean, the Speed 3 is the Speed 3 Sport is like their sportier version. Went by a bunch of different names. I think it was called the Excella in Japan, and like the Mazda 3 MPS maybe in like Europe and Australia and some other markets. But not a bad looking car at all. Only going for $3,800, 121,000 miles on it though, and it is an '08, so maybe that's reasonable. Got an AMG GLC 63. It's pretty clean looking. I do like this. I think the shape is done very well. I think this would be comparable to like an X5, BMW X5. Check out the interior. Pretty clean. Leather seats. 72,000 miles. Wow, I was not expecting that. It looks very nice for 72,000 miles. Kind of looks like they Sharpied over this or something. That's kind of weird, but... Oh, got an old Merc Al Lago. Going for $163,000 with the day left. I actually don't think it came out with the convertible until it had been out for a couple of years, but I feel like all I ever see is the convertible, so it's kind of funny how that works out. And I think they made this till like '06, and then it became the LP640, Merc Al Lago LP640, and LP640 Roadster, obviously. But I think this car had like because it's a Roadster, but I think the top doesn't actually like contract into the car. I'm pretty sure you like fold it up and put it in the frunk, which is kind of funny. But I don't think they even have any pictures of the top, so maybe they don't have it anymore. They're really jumping around the car here with these photos. Interesting interior. I don't actually know what the deal is with the shifting here. Interesting. Check out all the photos, see if there's anything of the soft top, because I do kind of remember that being the case. There's the frunk. Maybe they don't have the top. But cool car nonetheless. Got an old R34 Skyline here. Got a old Corvette E320 RS7. RS7 only going for 15 grand. Wow. Got a 2015 911 GT3. Very clean looking. I will say I don't really like when they put these little tow hooks on there, but I don't think it looks bad necessarily. It's just not my favorite. I wonder what this 789 means. Pretty clean. Kind of beat up, honestly. There's a lot of scuffs and stuff on this splitter as well. But I think it's 2015, so, you know. It's probably gotten some use. 20,000 miles. Going for $91,000. $97,000 right now. It's in Washington State. Got an old Maserati Coupe. I think these things are so ugly. But this one was reviewed by Doug, actually. But it's kind of funny because they actually share an engine with some Ferrari models. Because at the time, Maserati was owned by Ferrari. And then eventually they split off in like '05. And they became part of Fiat Group. And now I think they're part of Stellantis, technically. But because of that, you get like a, I don't know, 390 horsepower engine in an '02 Maserati Coupe. But I think they're pretty ugly, interior included. This is pretty unique as well. A 2013 Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG GT Coupe. 11,000 miles. Going for $170,000 with 2 days left. I think these were pretty, like, limited. They made it for like 3 or 4 years, but I think they made less than 1,000 of them, like, across total. The SLS, I think, stands for, like, super light sport. And this was actually, I think, the first Mercedes that was built by the AMG team by the, like, from the ground up, like, entirely done in-house, which is pretty cool. So, a lot of history with the car, and it's got those gull wing doors, which are pretty neat. But I'm pretty sure you have to close them manually because they didn't want the added weight of, like, the automatic closing technology. I feel like that would probably get kind of annoying to have to reach up and, like, literally grab this part of the door. But if you can afford this thing, you've got bigger problems. Pretty bold interior as well. Oh, it's actually automatic. Did not see that coming for some reason. That's interesting that the, like, control for the seat is on the front left there. That's cool. It's actually in Calgary, in Canada. Calgary, Alberta. Got a GT4. Love these things. Going for 80 grand right now, 2 days left. Honestly, not an insane price. I think they look so clean. I think something about the, like, slightly smaller profile of the Cayman body is just really appealing to me. A little bit dated of an interior. It's in manual. Nice seats, though. I mean, it has 12,000 miles. It is 2020. Interesting. Why does it look... I don't know, this, like, display thing looks kind of old to me, but maybe it's just because it's not on. I guess the rest of the car looks decently new, but I don't know, for some reason it doesn't seem super new. Got an old S2000, we've seen 100 of those. I'm going to skip that for now. This is pretty cool. I believe it's the most powerful WRX STI ever made. Only made 209 of them. It's called the S209. You know, obviously racing focused. Still only like 350 horsepower, I'm pretty sure, but cool that it's like a limited edition model. Although I think it was like 65 or 70 grand when it came out, which is a lot for a WRX. But I'm sure it'll hold its value. What's it at? Yeah, it's at 70 grand with 2 days left, so yeah, you're basically getting your money back. And it obviously looks much nicer than the typical WRX, but 640 miles. What? It's been out for like 5 years. They have not driven that thing at all. Got a Urus. Have we seen one of these before? For some reason, I cannot remember seeing a Urus on these auctions yet, which is kind of insane because they're very popular. But a little backstory on these. So this is a 2019. I believe they came out in 2018. I think it's technically the first SUV that Lamborghini ever made, unless you count like their military vehicles that they used to make back in like the 80s and 90s. I think there was one called the LM002, which was like kind of like a Hummer type style design, but this is the first real SUV. But they showed this thing at like, I don't know, back in 2012, and then they never released it. And then it came out like for 2018 model year, which is like kind of funny, but this is like their best selling model, I believe. I think they hit 20,000 Urus sales either last year or the year before. And you know, it had only been out for 4 or 5 years, so that's a pretty short time span. 155 grand, 2 days left. It's in Sandy, Utah. Actually, I'm pretty sure that this is the fastest gas production SUV behind like the Rivian and the Tesla. Like that doesn't really count. It uses the same like platform as some of the other models in its like owner's family. So like the Q7, the Porsche Cayenne, like uses a lot of the same platform, but it's actually quicker. And that has to do with like heavy use of carbon fiber and some other design changes and stuff, so pretty cool. Definitely unique car. Got a 2019 M5 Comp. Nice Marina Bay blue. Oh, carbon fiber hood. I actually like that. Very nice looking car. I mean, you've seen it once, you've seen them all, but gorgeous car. $46,000, 2 days left. X5M, 5 Series, Macan Turbo, 3 Series, Miata. We got a frickin' McLaren 650S, 641 horsepower, twin turbo V8, 13,000 miles, $100,000, 2 days left. This is what replaced the MP4 12C, also known as the 12C. They took a lot of the same parts. Like if you look up pictures of both of them, they look extremely similar. But I love these cars. I think they're gorgeous. Got a Brabus G Wagon. I feel like we see a decent amount of those. Old M3. Another Miata. Only going for $6,000 with 3 days left. I guess it's an NC, I think. Those are like the least loved generation, but got an old Cayman. Not a huge fan of that body style. Old Integra. Another Rivian R1S Launch Edition, $62,000. Got a Ford Bronco Raptor model going for $72,000. That's pretty nuts. Got an RS5 here, pretty clean looking. I'm not usually a fan of these, to be honest, but I actually think that these ones look pretty nice. This one looks pretty nice. Something about the tinted windows, the blacked out emblems. I don't know. It's calling 3 days left. Got a 2014 Cayman S here. Oh, another McLaren 570 GT. So this is just more of a touring model, less track focused. That's what the GT means, like Grand Touring. So in theory, it's supposed to be a little more comfort oriented, but I guess I could see that. I don't know. It looks pretty dang similar. But it's going for $77,000 with 3 days left. 10,000 miles on it. It's in Texas. S2000 Bentley Continental. Got an R8. I feel like we see a lot of those. Got a freaking Starion. I don't know if you guys have heard of these things, but I think they're just interesting looking cars. They look really futuristic. Like, they look like what old people in the old days used to think futuristic cars would look like. With like fins and sharp angles and all that stuff. But I think they were also sold under the Chrysler brand. Like Chrysler Conquest or something, but it's going for literally nothing. 160,000 miles, $1,400. Got a Ferrari 348 TS here. This would replace the 328 Ferrari. And the TS just means it's the Targa top. So like the top portion, it's not a full convertible, it's just this top portion that gets removed. It's got a bunch of decals on it, it looks like. The decals are kind of a little much if you ask me, but maybe it was actually used for racing for all I know. 20 grand, 6 days left. Missouri. Okay, it looks like it was actually used in the North American Challenge Series. So I guess I should shut my mouth about the decals, but yeah, removable roof panel. 9,500 miles. I imagine that like cars that get driven in races are like driven pretty hard. So like those miles probably count for a lot more than what you would think. Doesn't look like the most comfortable ride. Got a GLA 45 AMG. Camaro SS. Giulia S5 Cabriolet. Got a Bentley Continental GT3R. These things are pretty neat. This is like a $350,000 car new, which is insane. But it's essentially the Continental, but like they made it into a race car. Took away the back seats. Even though it weighs like 5,000 pounds, it'll do 0 to 60 in like 3.5 seconds or something, which is pretty crazy. But again, obviously for the money, just ridiculous. I thought they made more than 99, but you know, I guess we can trust cars and bids. Maybe this is just US. 12,700 miles. 6 days left, going for $68,000 in San Antonio, Texas. Okay, 99 units were sold here. I guess that means in the US. Pretty cool. Very unique car. X5, Land Rover Discovery, Chevy Corvette. Got another Corvette. Got a Golf. Accord. SL 550. Got an old Supra going for two grand. do not like these old ones. It's kind of funny. Me included. No offense to anyone who likes them, but... And it looks like for the last auction we got a banger. A 1996 Acura NSX. Absolutely love these cars. I feel like I've been seeing a decent amount of them on here lately. This is the Dash T model with the removable roof. Pop-up headlights. Looks to be in pretty good shape. Yeah, I mean, gorgeous car. I'll say that every time I see an NSX, but hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you have any feedback or comments on how to make these videos better, please let me know down in the comments. The next thing I'm gonna work on is relocating my computer so that when the fan kicks on, you guys can't hear it as much. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.